I recently read this book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. It was recommended to me by Jim Rohn, and it's pretty good. In fact, there was one chapter that really inspired me. It's about an older fellow. He's rich, there's no other way to put it, and he's got his own caravan. He's traveling from Damascus to Babylon, and presumably he's going to sell a lot of goods and make a lot of money. He's traveling with the grandson of his friend who passed away. He told his friend, "When you're gone, I'll take care of your grandson and I'll teach him how he can make money in this trade just like we did." And so that's what he does. He takes him to Babylon. But this kid is really spoiled. He wears adornments, if you can imagine that. A guy wearing adornments. And he doesn't like hard work. He thinks it's for the slaves. He wants to be leisurely, and he just wants to rake in the cash. And so he's telling this older fellow, "How can I make money like you and my grandfather? How can I get it? That's all I want. I just want to get the money. And I don't want to work hard. I just want to get the money, and you should show me how, because that's what you guys did." And even though he finds the kid annoying, this man says, "Okay, I'll tell you about how I grew up with your grandfather." And he was actually sold into slavery. He was captured, forced into slavery, and right before he was about to be sold, he met a farmer who also got captured and put into slavery. This farmer told him, "Hard work is my best friend. There's no better friend than hard work. Hard work will always pay you back, and it'll always have your back. So make hard work your best friend. And if you want to do that yourself, click that link below." Now, he had the choice of either working hard or being defiant, hating that he was sold into slavery, not accepting the reality of his position, which is fruitless. And he actually spoke to one of the guards before he was sold off. The guard said, "The ones that are controversial, those that fight back, the ones that are aggressive and they don't want to work, they're the ones that get sent to the wall. They go to the front line, they have to build the wall around the city, and if there's a war going on, which there usually is, those are going to be the casualties. They're going to be forced to fight back. They are barely fed, they're whipped, their backs are broken, and most of them die there. So if you can find a master, if you could tell him you work hard and you love to work hard and you're interested in what he does, you might have an easier life, and in fact you might live." And so that's what he does. He trusts his friend's word, he trusts the guard's word, and when they're at the market being sold, he says to every person passing by, "I love to work hard, I'd love to work for a good master," but to no avail. Eventually his friend gets picked up by a farmer who is convinced that this guy knows the stock, and also he likes to work hard. And he, before the end of the day, before they're all taken to the wall, actually convinces this baker that, "I love to work hard, I can work hard, I want to work hard for you." He has some knowledge about food and cooking, and the baker takes him. In fact, the baker teaches him all the tricks of the trade. He gets so good that he ends up replacing the baker and fully supplying his business. Fully, he's working for him, but the business is just profiting because the baker no longer has to put his time into this. But still, he sees, "I'm a slave. I can't get out of this. I'm stuck. Even though I'm learning something, what's the point of life?" And at that point, he meets someone on the streets. This is actually the grandfather of his this boy that he's traveling with. And he's also a slave. He's a slave, but he's smart. And he realized that if I can convince my master that I can go out and I can make him some money, using the business, then maybe I could get a cut. Maybe I can make some money. Because at that point in time, apparently the slaves here in Babylon, in this fictional story, actually could earn money, and they could own property, and they could get married, and they actually had a lot of rights. So think about that. The slaves actually had a lot of rights. That's interesting, huh? And so he is taught by his new friend, that if he can convince his master that he can make some money, then yeah, maybe he'll get a cut of it too. You know, if he can work outside the business, not during working hours, and he can bring in some profit for the master, then he proposed this idea, and it actually happens. He starts making money on the side, and he does fall into some unfortunate events. He works hard through the whole process. He makes some money for himself, but eventually his master sells him, and he's forced to. He's in a really bad position due to his gambling addiction. Take note of that one too. And he has to sell this guy, and he's sold off to the wall, and it's really unfortunate. But after a few backbreaking months, this boy's grandfather, his friend, manages to find him, and he says, I like what you do, and I appreciate your wisdom, and I actually bought my own freedom. I became wealthy in my own right, and I'm here today to save you, to save your life. I'm buying you out of slavery, and I'm ripping up the contract. Actually, it's stone, so he throws it, and it breaks, and he like crushes it into sand. But anyways, he makes it out of slavery, and he does this because of hard work. He works hard, he makes some money on the side, he manages to save that, and they both move to Damascus, and that's where they become successful businessmen, right? That's where his friend ends up having a big family and having this kid who ends up being spoiled, but by the end of it, he learns his lesson, because he knows what happens to the bad slaves. He knows what happens to the ones that are controversial. They put up a fight. They don't do good work. They don't do good work, and so they're not rewarded. They're sent to the wall, they're sent to the front lines, and they die. They die a hard life. And it could all be avoided with some hard work. And in fact, through hard work, you can actually escape your slavery. Through hard work, you can actually build up the mentality, the determination that you can make it in any situation, no matter how bad. And through hard work, you can end up living a life of longevity and wealth and fortune. And it's only because he trusted this farmer who told him this, that he was able to level up, and he was able to see that, see for himself that hard work truly is a tool to level oneself up, and self-development is really all there is. So take a note of this. Buy the book. I recommend the book. There's a lot of good proverbs, good parables in there. And that was it for today. To work one-on-one with me, I've supplied a link below. I can keep you accountable. I could get you in the best shape of your life. I could get you from a skinny fat kid like I was to an aesthetic beast like I am now. And I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.